Very good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
You have the script from last time, right?
Good morning.
Yeah, we are doing slokam number 5
Six.
or 6. 6.
5, we will just
Six.
elaborate a little bit. I explained it last time.
Yeah.
And then we will go to mantra number 6. And quickly, I'll finish that Upadi explanation that I started.
I'll just open that.
All right. Om Kavim Kavihinam Varshavastavam Jyeshtanajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspadana Shunvannodivissi Sadhanam Mahaganapataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vaje Virvajini Viti Dhinamavitrevatu Mahasaraswati Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Sarvalokanam Vijaya Pavaro Ginam Hideye Sarva Vidyanam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Asmin Guru Charanarvindabhya Namaha देवीं वाचवजनयन्त देवाः तां विश्वरूपाः पशवो वदन्ति सा नो मन्दिरेषु मूर्जन्തുहाना धेनुर्वागस्मानुपतिष्ठितैतु व्यासं वसिष्ठ नप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकदातन्तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीलता महात्रिपुरसुन्दरी समेत श्रीचन्द्रमौळीश्वराय नमः काञ्चीकामकोटिपीठाधिपति जगद्गुरु श्री शंकराचार्य श्रीचरणयोः प्रणामाः. So let's go to the mantra number 5. That mantra says, Satyena labhyas tapasa hyesha atma samyak jnanena brahmacharyena nityam antah sharire jyotirmayohi shubhro yam pashyanti yatayah kshina doshaha. Antah sharire jyotirmayohi shubhro yam pashyanti yatayah kshina doshaha. So what this mantra means is very simple. This Atman within the body, which is very resplendent, meaning shining and pure, can be reached by truth and tapas. Those are the two keywords. By truth and tapas. By sound knowledge and by abstinence from sexual pleasures constantly practiced. So it's very interesting that, and the reason why I'm saying this is, I have been giving examples of what is bliss and what is happiness and all the differences, etc. If you remember, I've been giving mainly 2 examples in the area of bliss. And
Right.
there have been people who have listened to me with respect because I was giving those examples, but also there have been people who will say, is it really so? Do you understand? Because the way we have been brought up is the word sex can never be used in any context, even if it is for good learning. That is how big of a taboo it is, as much as like you are committing a sin. So the explanation of this mantra is not my words. What I said just now is not my words. This is Adi Shankaracharya's commentary. I don't think you need any more validation from a source document than this. Right? So, by abstinence from sexual pleasures, constantly practiced, and believe that the Atman is within the body. And those who practice this very religiously, without break, without any discontinuity, they see their faults removed. The faults where they get attached into the day-to-day material stuff, trapped into the Maya, they see that it is removed. This is the explanation by Sri Adi Shankaracharya, not my interpretation. Now, truth and the rest, chiefly characterized by restraint, are enjoined upon a bhikshu. That is, a bhikshu is a mendicant. Okay, here it would be pertinent to mention, when you say you are a tapasvi or you're getting into the sannyasam, ideally speaking, those who are practicing this should not be involved in materialistic world, like we doing a job, trying to deal with all the politics at work just to earn that money is not called abstinence. It's not called a tapasvi's life. So obviously, if you can't go there and succeed and earn money for yourself, there has to be a way by which you survive. So the system that we had was the Brahmins, who were the custodians of all of these things, were supposed to focus only on these things and achieve all those goals, achieve all the higher levels of pursuit, knowledge, so that they can be the custodians of this field, while the rest of the people work on, and the Brahmin community or the sannyasi community survive by something called Bhiksha Vandanam. So the term is Bhiksha. Literally, it is called Bhiksha. So Bhiksha is not begging. Bhiksha is not somebody throwing used or unused food, remaining food, etc. Bhiksha is carefully prepared with a lot of acharas. The food prepared by somebody for the community here. So if they come and say Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi, you are supposed to give it. So the process is a barter system. The person who is doing the cooking or sharing the rice, pulses, etc., grains, get good karma of taking care of another fellow human being, which is also a part of the Paramatma. Correct?
Yeah.
So please understand, I keep on saying it so that it gets into our DNA. Time to remove the layer of the gender. Once we start looking at each other, first thing we look at the gender. That's the first thing that remains as like a parda, or what do you call as a hijab. Go out of that, beyond that, into the sukshma sharira. Understand the various elements at work. See how they play together. See how to activate them. And it is all, the key hero in that system is called mind. So the mind has to be trained that I am not giving used food, I am taking efforts. That is why it is called a karma system. When somebody puts in effort to cook something and prepare something, put in a lot of effort, spending money, hard earned money, everything there is karma, effort, right? To earn the money, there is hard work. To prepare, to go and shop, there is hard work. To cook, there is hard work. The rice grain that you put in your mouth without even a sense of gratitude is passing through a supply chain where probably hundreds of people have put their hours and hours of hard work. What trouble they would have gone through, you don't know. What risk of life they would have put themselves through, you don't know. You're comfortably sitting at home and eating it. The system says when you eat such things, you acquire dosha. So one of the line items in the liability side of your balance sheet, karma, is every anna, grain of rice that you put in, you're acquiring dosha from all those people if you don't express a sense of gratitude. Make sense? Sonalji? Yeah.
Sorry, we're just nodding. Yeah.
So there is also a system for that. So you say, hey, so are you supposed to not eat rice from tomorrow? No, the answer is very simple. When we sit and start eating, there is only one mantra in Vedam that has this power. It's called the Trisuparna mantra. So instead of sitting and chatting in a big pankti of food, even that one learned Brahman chants Trisuparna mantra, he's requesting forgiveness and expressing his sense of gratitude on behalf of the entire pankti. The pankti can be of 100 people, 50 people, 5,000 people, doesn't matter. And continuously they chant. The answer is simple. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for all the trouble that you have taken, because of which today I'm having food. The same way here, when you put in effort and do the bhiksha for the sannyasi, the return is when sannyasi says, I want to Veda Parayanam at my home, or I want you to tell me or guide me on some key essence of life, you are expected to do it without money or expectation. You get the system. That is how the system works. So here it says very clearly that the person of the mendicant who is living on a bhikshu as a bhikshu has sound knowledge of the lower level of vidya and the higher level of vidya, and all the tools that we are talking about that will help you attain the clarity of mind, that will help you detach yourself from all the basic attractions of life. Is the one that knows or realizes, not knows, realizes the Atman. So how does the person achieve that tapas? It is by abstaining from falsehood. It should be attained only by truth, by abstaining, avoiding, staying away from falsehood. And also by tapas, which is the concentration of the senses and the mind. So whenever you say you are a tapasvi, it doesn't have to be that you have to wear saffron clothes and sit in a forest. You can sit at home, allocate that 1 hour that I keep recommending to people. Say, this is my time. You're not a mother, you're not a sister, not a wife, nobody except yourself. Concentrate and get the control on the senses and the mind. There are tools that I've talked about many a times. Dhyana, mudra, sitting cross-legged with Padmasana, and also keeping your hand like this and focusing on it. These are all the things that you do to practice that concentration. So here, when we talk of tapas, Sri Adi Shankara is making it very clear. There are other forms of tapas too. This is not the only form. So the other forms are like the Chandrayana or a penance, right? That is not what we are talking about. Here we are talking about concentration of the senses and the mind. That is what you're trying to get control. So the Atman should be attained by good knowledge, again, speaking the truth, avoiding falsehood, and by practicing brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means abstinence from sexual pleasure, which is what I said. When boys are sent to Veda Patashala, they will be told at that age, from whatever it was, 0 to 7 time frame, don't look at girls, don't look at girls. Focus is on studies and acquire that knowledge, etc., etc., etc. So then you can say, so how do we get married, etc., etc. I don't want to go into the details. I can talk about it at a separate time. When father says, come on, it's time for you to now get into Grahasthashram, come back, you do several amount of prayashchitta for stopping the Veda Padam learning at some point. So you're insulting Veda Mata. So you do prayashchittam for that. You're insulting the Guru who has invested so much time and effort and knowledge in you. You're leaving the ashramam halfway. So maybe your chores are not being done by anybody else. There are thousands of things that are there. And the whole system is interwoven with that concept of gratitude and acknowledgement and reciprocal expression. Make sense? So there's no cash involved here. So brahmacharyam, nityam means always. So you don't say that I did tapas for 3 days, Monday, Thursday, Friday, then suddenly Tuesday I had to go for a movie and then come back on Saturday, and it doesn't work like that. So allocate that 1 hour every day and make it a habit and DNA of your life going forward. So it says, just as a lamp within a building illuminates every part of it, you just need one lamp in a dark room to show that light, and you will understand the power of that small lamp if it is in a engulfed in darkness. It will be said that that the Atman whom there's neither deceit nor falsehood nor cunning. In Atman there is none of these things. So you will be able to see that purity of the Atman when you are performing these practices with focus and concentration. So Atman is also within the body, resplendent of golden hue, and Shubhra. Shubhra means pure. So the Yataya means, Yati means sannyasi. Yataya means those who are habitually seeking, the sannyasins, they see their faults removed. Faults are the shortcomings that we as mortal humans have. It starts getting removed one by one. So what are the faults? The faults are, for example, the mind is tainted with anger, envy, jealousy, greed. All of these things are our fault lines in our mortal human beings. They get removed one by one. And in the process, you attain the Atman, or reach or realize the Atman. Right? So I think that is a good explanation. And I felt listening to Sri Adi Shankara's commentary would be a very, very good thing to start, at least in the morning for me, and it will be a good thing for you to see it listen to it in the middle of the day. So quickly we're going to mantra number 6. Satyameva jayate nanrutam satyena pantha vitato devayanah. Satyameva jayate nanrutam satyena pantha vitato devayanah. Yenakra mantyushayo ह्याप्तकामा यत्र तत्सत्यस्य परमं निधानम्. येनाक्रमन्त्युषयो ह्याप्तकामा यत्र तत्सत्यस्य paramam nidhanam. Satyam means truthfulness. Eva means verily. Jayate, succeeds. Satyam eva jayate. Right? Satyam eva jayate. Now you know the meaning. Truth prevails, bottom line. If in typical English you want to know.
Yeah.
Anrutam, the untruthful. Na means not. Nanrutam, the breakup of nanrutam is anrutam, which is the untruthful. Na means not. Satyena, by truthfulness. Devayanah, the Devayana. Pantha means the path, the road that you take path. Vitatah is spread. Yena, by which. Aptakamaha, having all their desires satisfied. Rishayah is the seers, SWRS, seers, or the sages. Akramanti is repair, REPAIR. Yatra, where. Satyasya, of the truth. Tat means that. Tat satyasya means of the truth, that. Paramam is supreme. Nidhanam, abode. Abode is where the truth lives or Atman lives. So it means verily the truthful alone succeed. Those who speak the truth, they alone succeed. If you're into falsehood, you're into the wrong side of the equation. You're in the wrong company. So only the truthful succeed, not the untruthful. Nanritam, not the untruthful. By truthfulness is spread the path of Devayana. I will just mention what it is. We will go into the details some other time. Remind me. Path of Devayana means karma mukhi. Just keep that word in the placeholder for now. That repairs the rishis. Repair means you are removing the fault lines of the rishis or sannyasins who are practicing everything of what we talked about. Right? Having all their desires satisfied, to that place where exists the supreme abode of the truth. What is the truth? Can anybody tell me?
Atman.
Perfect. You see, it's not that complicated. You just have to mold yourself into this kind of a thinking from the regular day-to-day stuff that we are caught into. It is very easy. So let us elaborate a little bit more. So we said the divine path is spread out by which the sages who desires have been completely fulfilled reach to where there is a supreme treasure of the truth, which is the Atman. Truth means it's more than truth speaking. You can't self-certify. Whatever I say is the truth, so I am a truthful person. So why am I not getting moksha? That is not how the system works. It's very easy, no? If you're unchallenged, I don't want to take political names. If you're unchallenged, whatever I say is the truth. So I am a person who is practicing truth, no falsehood. So I should attain moksha. It doesn't work like that. It's not about truth. It is not about truth speaking. It is a symbol of perfection. It is a symbol and a representation of the divine being. So adherence to truth means embracing the universal nature of the reality. That is the key word. So if I ask next time what is the meaning of truth other than Atman, you'll be able to say more. So it is not about just truth speaking. It is a symbol of perfection because you are maintaining that life of abstinence on a continuous basis. And it's a representation of the divine being, that you are representing the ultimate truth, that there is Atman, and you are embracing the truth, that Atman. So embracing the universal nature of the reality. You are going beyond the Maya, transcending the Maya, and realizing the truth, that is the universal nature of the reality. So truth wins victory everywhere. There is nothing to challenge. Truth wins victory everywhere. And truth is the essence of the universal movement consisting of evolution and dissolution. सोनल जी मेक सेंस? सो हम बोलते हैं ना, जो जीते हैं उसका एंड डेट भी, एक्सपायरी डेट भी लिखा हुआ है. ये रियलिटी जानना चाहिए, बोलने से नहीं होता. ये यू हैव टू embrace it. So some people thought it might be crazy. I lost my mom at a very, very, very young age. So I haven't cried since that day. Not on that day and since that day till I went to Kailash Yatra. Because I never felt that I have lost something big. I always felt that she needed to be in this world only for this long. She is ready to attain moksha, so she is going much early. So I was happy for her that she has moved on into a better world than getting caught into all of us. Whereas our way of thinking is, अरे यार वो अभी डेथ हो गया तो अभी हमको कल से खाना कौन बना के देगा. Very tactical, right? मैं अकेला क्या करूंगा, मेरा ख्याल कौन रखेगा. the simple question that you need to ask is, when you're grown up, when you've learned to walk on your own, your God has developed your brain, why do you need to depend on anybody for anything? The family system is meant for certain other aspects. It's not meant for saying, okay, you are the production of babies and cooking, and you are the person earning. That was never the system designed that way. We created that system. So again, untruth is negative, whereas truth is positive. Anybody who knows me from childhood will say, there he goes again. This is my favorite topic, not now, from childhood. Always I said, avoid negativity. Think positive. Even when somebody, there are people who have gone through decades of torture and trauma. And I said, develop the will to fight it and come out of it. And if you are constantly feeling that you're left behind and everybody else is enjoying and you're only the only person suffering, the positive way of looking at it, the positive spin to it is, you are squaring off a lot of negative karma on your balance sheet while others are building more of negative karma. Because when you're having that fun and pleasure and you don't have the connection with the ultimate reality and truth, you're getting more and more into the maya and the pleasure of having all those joyous occasions of watching a movie or doing whatever you do. They might be building more negative karma. Whereas you, who are going through the torture and trauma, you're clearing your negative side of the balance sheet, and you're probably racing towards moksha much faster than anybody else. That's a positive spin you can put on yourself and keep yourself going. Because if you take any curve, after a peak, there has to be a fall. After a fall, there has to be a rise. So look for that rise. And the graph, it's called the J curve. The curve has to become a J at some point. Wait for that and enjoy it. Go through the motion and stay calm and positive. So through truth, the consciousness blossoms into more expanded experience, but untruth attempts to stifle consciousness. So whenever we talk of truth, untruth, etc., what are we worried about? If you remember the manifestation or the impact of the maya on the mind, that blinds you to everything. That is what we learned in the last two classes, right? So the reference is to that. The more you stay focused on the truth, you will be able to pursue and move forward. The moment you get distracted to untruth, and you say, oh, no, this Atman lecture is all not true. I see iPhone here, I see a movie there, and everybody enjoying it except me, so I need to go after that. And it's very, very simple topic, but people don't want to accept it. There is so much fear. That small desire, when you leave it uncontrolled, right, it turns into greed. Greed turns into envy. Envy turns into everything negative that you can think of. That's what I'm talking about. So it stifles consciousness altogether and disallows the expansion of consciousness. There is no growth, causing the hardening of the individuality. So you harden your stand. Oh, I can't live without this. I can't live without watching this serial. I mean, imagine how many people watch serial in India. They can drop everything and boom, that clock strikes 6. They're in front of the television set. Even if there's no power, they'll sit in front of the television set with a lot of hope. That is called addiction to falsehood. You don't need to. Yeah, I'm not saying you drop everything. So if you don't watch one day, it's okay. It's the same thing that is churned. And if if you go to statistical analysis, a serial that goes for half an hour, the actual content is about 7.5 to 8 minutes. The rest is all ad. You're subscribing to make advertisers show stuff to you that you don't want to see or hear. Yeah, go ahead, Sonalji.
I was just asking, Usha Didi, do you watch serials?
Yeah, I do watch, but I don't crave for it. Since if I don't watch it for 3 days, 4 days, 1 month, doesn't affect me.
Yeah, because
I go back and watch regardless of whether. And no, I watch it for two reasons. One is I get to see what is the current trend in fashions because I am not the one who goes out and actually looks out for all this. And second thing is maybe little bit of advertisements. I see what is happening, not to buy, But sometimes, the copy matter is very interesting. Like I am into the creative field, so I enjoy that part.
Yes.
So not for, and I don't get affected by all that. Like if I miss 2 days, nothing happens to me. I'm hale and hearty. Okay.
I will share something
Thank
that
you.
it might shock you. I have not watched a serial for probably decades. It has not affected my life. If you ask me any of the TV serials, I really don't know much about it. I don't see any value except for the Mahabharata and Ramayana serials, which I wouldn't miss even a single occasion. Or even Devoka Dev Mahadev, very well shot and conceived. Anyway, back to this is the sages got the vision of this truth because they were absolutely free from defects such as deceit. You don't put your negative thoughts to say, how do I cheat
Yeah.
somebody? Or delusion. Live in a world that, I am the Bill Gates of tomorrow. All of those are delusions that you start practicing. I mean, we might find it funny, but that's the way we live our life. And we also put in every effort to hide that from everybody else. We want to put up that, all is hunky dory. I am the ultimate truth. Everything is full of shallow belief system and practice, which is not required. If in reality, if it really work hard, you will see how much of control you have on your own life and thought process, dependencies, etc. If you just start putting this little bit of hard work yourself. So there is free from the defects such as delusion, fraud, pride, that ahankara or arrogance that I know everything and I am the greatest and you have to fall at my feet, vanity and falsehood, right? They found the consummation of their desires and aspirations in this absolute truth. So you convert all your aspirations and desires into this truth. Instead of going after this Maya stuff, you say, okay, I'm going to merge myself into the seeking of this absolute truth. So they first became desireless. That means you start dropping your stuff, examples of whatever we have talked about. We don't need to elaborate any further. A desire breeds falsehood. Again, the last two sentences are coming from a very, very, very famous sage from India. So these are not my words. Desire breeds falsehood, and desirelessness gives rise to the truth. So if you want to seek truth and understand truth, first you have to start cutting off the desires. You can't say, oh, yeah, I will keep it aside for 2 hours. Can I find truth in 2 hours? It doesn't work like that. I wish the mind is so adaptable, right? And you can experiment it yourself. You watch something nasty like a road accident, or you hear the news of somebody passing away. Your mind continues to gloat on it for some time. It's not like a switch. So that is the reason why the focus has to be truth and mind. These are the two things that you focus. This is the crux of mantra number 6. I hope that explanation helped. And we have 20 minutes where I want to continue the discussion where we left off abruptly last time. If you remember all the gunas discussion that we had last time, any one of you want? Sonal ji, आप unmute कर लीजिए, कोई problem नहीं है. What is Sattva Guna representing? Sattva is the essential power, is that of revelation. Sattva means revelation. So you throw light, purity, clarity, knowledge. You see revelation achieved through light, purity, insight, inward looking, knowledge, intelligence, inspiration, and you need peace. And again, anybody who's either learning from me or getting counseling inputs, this is one aspect that you will constantly hear from me. I talked about Nyasa, I talked about Dhyana. If you see, even my classes, I start with Dhyana Shloka for the simple reason that you need to bring peace. Peace does not mean, I'm not fighting. That is not called peace. Peace means peace within yourself, with yourself, right? Can anybody give one example of what this statement means? Peace within oneself.
See, if
Let-
you need to do some work positively, okay, even if it is prayer, cooking, or anything, your mind has to be in a calm state.
Okay.
Like, I can't be angry fighting with my husband and then expect that my dish comes out perfectly. Some upar niche chili willy salt something will be upar.
Fair
So
enough.
I
But
have to calm myself down, ensure that I am completely focusing only on that one particular job. So I have to make my mind under control to ensure that I am only looking at that one particular thing and not diverting my attention here and there.
your explanation
what-
was convincing, but I'll repeat the question. See whether the response is to the question. Peace
Okay.
within oneself, not peace with others. And derive peace through peace with others, you derive peace within yourself. Let me explain what I mean by peace within oneself. And you can experiment it. Close everything that you get distracted with. Like if there is a window through which you can see something, or if there is a sound that is going to distract you, etc., etc., right? And you're not a tapasvi at this time. I assume that you're not a tapasvi. Close your eyes, sit down and do nothing. You may think that you're concentrating. In reality, if you're a rookie into this business, that is the fastest time when your mind is racing against many things. There is no husband, there is no wife, there is no son, daughter, nobody in your life. You are fighting against within yourself of thousands and thousands of things that you never pay attention to. So when you say concentration, it is that battling those inner internal battles that you're talking about. It's the easiest thing to do to tell, hey, husband, wife, out 1 hour. Peace can be achieved very quickly, thereby commanding something. But this one, when you close your eyes, you try to get your mind under control, impossible. And that is what we mean by taking years and years of tapas and sadhana to attain that. So you flip the whole statement in a different way. What is it that is taking you into those fights? One good word that you can remember is desire, aspirations. If you dry up the desire and aspirations, what is there to chase and worry about? Correct? Even if you see a naked person walking on the street, it's not going to impact you. Because there is no aspiration, no desire, no interpretation of anything. You just start accepting everything as, yeah, it exists. I don't necessarily have to have any connection with that. God forbid there is a road accident happening. You don't have to put your emotions into it. Make it your problem. You do your karma of helping, what you need to do at that time to help save a life or whatever it is. Do it as a duty than putting yourself into this. I'm just trying to give one or two examples so it'll get you thinking. I don't want to go on this. If you put yourself into that situation, what happens is maybe you are not helping save the life, which is most important. You are there sitting and taking charge of the situation. No. You cross the road. You drove fast, and you are on the wrong side of the road. You become the judge. You become God. Everything that you shouldn't be doing. Your connection is only, can I do something to save that life? Who was right, who was wrong? There is law and order that will take care of. It's a very different mindset, and you need to put that mindset to practice. So here, that peace and harmony, order, everything should be in order. It cannot be a chaotic thing. Chaotic means you're going after one thing, suddenly you feel something is more important, then you shift from there to here. So there's no clarity, there is no priority, there is no organized way of working, there's no order. It's always a rush, and you're driven by something else, not under your own control. So getting yourself under control is the essential power of revelation. So if you really want to seek truth, this is one important thing. That is why they say sattva guna is important. Rajo guna is the nature of passion or desire, activity or motion, creativity or force. is the essential power of projection, which is evident from the previous example that I gave. Tamoguna is the nature of density or heaviness, groundedness, solidity, practicality or dullness, apathy, laziness. Why is it important? Oh, you only said no? Take it easy, chill. So I'm too chill. I'm a couch potato. I don't do anything. I'm sitting in the couch and doing nothing. You become a nice fatso.
Potato.
That actually leads to concealment. You'll never be able to see the truth because this is not functioning at all. It is so frozen and cold that nothing will happen. So when we say detach, means detach from the Maya stuff, not detach from everything in life. You have to stay connected to the truth, without which you cannot go in that direction. So none of the gunas are good or bad. That is what I spoke about last time. Each of the guna is required. Each of the guna, you need to start balancing them. So when somebody says, I don't eat onions, I don't eat this, and I know it's a very sensitive topic for Sonalji. So it's a good thing to do. So it's not a bad thing to say I won't eat lasoon or khanda or anything. But if you say that, yes, I am eating that, plus I am practicing something else to balance it, there is no harm in doing it. Right? Again, everybody doesn't have to follow one path. This is the only line that you can go. That is not what Sanatana Dharma or anything of our systems is. You can take 1,000 different paths as long as your starting point and end point is same. Here is where I am as a greedy soul, mortal life. That is absolute truth. One can take this route, somebody else can take some other route. Ultimate goal is to realize the truth. So these gunas are also part of the universe that we live in. Because tamas is responsible for the material substance of which the material universe is formed. It is formed because of the tamoguna, right? So even though we say tamoguna is associated with laziness, it is the guna through which the material and physical universe is formed. So you can't shy away from that reality. It also provides a psychological stability. So that density and heaviness is required. But anything of bad, unwanted depth, unwanted quantity is what is being asked to be avoided. That is what is called the balance. So you keep swinging the scale. Did anybody ask anything, or you heard a voice?
No. It was a notification that your call ends in 15
Okay.
minutes.
Got it. So the tamoguna also establishes the physiological regularity, right? Keyword which we talked about. It establishes the physiological regularity that affords us ability to rejuvenate via sleep. So you can't say, oh, Kumara said, don't be lazy, don't be doing things, so I won't sleep at all. I will continuously work and be in search of truth. That is not what is being talked about. You need to rejuvenate via sleep. Rajoguna, when you talk of Rajoguna in its extreme, causes unbridled, mindless, and sometimes unethical pursuit of gratuitous desires. That is what we said you avoid. We are not talking of avoiding the Rajoguna itself. But if you leave the Rajoguna uncontrolled, unbridled, it leads to greed, something that I explained a couple of minutes ago. But the Rajoguna is also required with necessary determination to get things done, because it's the projection of power. It means force, motion, right? So you need that Rajoguna to get things done. Today, if I have to do tapas or japam, you require that force and that motion within yourself to be able to perform those activities or tasks. So if you say my Rajoguna is completely zero, you will be in a state of limbo, right? So that is not what we're talking about. So we keep saying journey towards moksha. That means you need to have motion. You need to have force that will propel you in that direction. That is coming from the Rajoguna. Sattva guna. You felt the Sattva guna is all good, right? Sattva guna also has got a drawback. And please pay attention to this if you have not heard this before. So, what is the drawback? The drawback is if you say I'm doing everything by myself. My inquiry to in the pursuit of truth is my own inquiry. The knowledge that I acquire is my own knowledge. I'm not dependent on anybody. I'm everything doing by myself. It can cause someone to feel a very false sense of pride and vanity in saying, I am God, I know everything, I don't need to learn anything from anybody. And you have no validation of what you have learned by yourself. Your interpretation of what you read, what you heard is the ultimate truth. So, carefully, if you see, our system is of Guru Parampara. You need to hear things from other people that have been there, done that, and that can give you 1,000 examples to make certain things clear. So, let's say that I had just shared the script with you. And if you see, I keep reflecting about this in every class where people say, oh, I'm going to miss your class today, but I will watch through YouTube video. Not a bad thing, good thing. There's nothing negative about it. But assume that you're not able to attend even a single class for 6 months and you're hearing only through the YouTube videos. What you learn through this interaction is gone. I don't think all of this interaction is recorded in the YouTube video. The context is gone. And you are in your own world. Here, there is an interactive mind that is listening, talking, thinking, and that is essential. Okay? And if you remember, the reason I give funny examples is it's easy for you to connect the dots. If you remember in one of the class, something I mentioned, which sounds funny, but is the reality of our life. We think that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are the trinity that controls our life, right? In reality, if you see in today's world, it is Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, and Tim Cook that control your world. You may not be aware of it. Everything is on internet. Everything is on your social media. Everything is on the digital device. Who controls that? The browser and everything is designed and controlled by those people. They decide what to feed, what to show you. Even if you search, I'm in search of truth, it will be Satya Nadella's truth or Sundar Pichai's truth. Where is the truth coming in? The person was given maximum ad. That content will be thrown in the top. Have you ever bothered to go to the 20th page of the search result and see what is coming in there? Honestly, tell me even once. In the search, if you see the results, there will be that numbers, right? You know that, right? Sonalji? Have you ever bothered, honestly, keep the hand in your heart and tell me, I have gone all the way to 25th or 30th page and found out what is in there. We don't do it.
When I'm doing a reference work for my book or for my research, I have to do that.
Yeah.
I can't rely only on the top 1 or 2 pages.
Correct. No, I'm talking intentionally of 25th or 30th page.
Yeah, I go up to the last page.
Correct.
Whatever is possible.
It is a very good habit. It is not impossible, but it is a very good habit. That means you are defying the whole system of somebody pushing down your throat something and getting to the bottom of the truth. I do it all the time. Just for fun. Even if I've read the whole thing in the first 2 pages, all the search results, I keep going with the same search term towards the end. Okay, so enough of that. So too much of Sattva-guna results in the sense of false pride. I am dependent on anything, I don't need you, those kind of things. So even that aspect has to be controlled. So excess of anything is, bottom line, excess of either of the gunas is bad for you. You need to maintain the right ratio and proportion. So you cannot say, tell me the recipe right now, is it 1:2:1? No, everything is personalized. You have to discover that balance. And the criteria is, am I getting attracted? Am I doing this? Whatever you're told not to do, if you're doing it, that means that there is imbalance in the whole thing, right? So also, one aspect of it is, as you go up the ladder of knowledge, the higher the level that you go, the more careful you have to be. Please mark these words, because those are the more and more powerful tools That knowledge is a tool. What you use that knowledge for and how you use the knowledge is entirely within you. Once it goes from me to you, it's done. If that knowledge is within you, how you use that, what you do with that is only in your control. You know what I'm saying? So as you learn more and more the reality of life, you also need to keep that control in saying, I will not let this go to any extreme. I will use the knowledge for the purposes it was intended for. Example, if you start learning TM, Transcendental Meditation, very powerful tool that will help you get the concentration. But if you take it to the advanced levels, you can levitate. Now, let us say that you start levitating. As long as you use it for your self journey, for growth, etc., in a very controlled fashion, where after levitation, if you're able to come back down to the ground and get up and walk, good. But you say, no, I'm having fun now. Let me see if I can go from here to Dadar without Ola. Then you are trespassing into unwanted areas. Am I giving an example? So, meditation. I've seen people lose their complete life, young people, 24, 25 years of age, when I was working in India. And I kept telling him, meditation is good, but learn to live within control. He tried to experiment in going into the realm of something that person should not have. He went completely mental. Wife, children hanging by the thread. By mercy, out of mercy, he was kept in the job and paid a salary at a very young age. Imagine at 25 years of age, 26 years of age. So please be very careful with all the knowledge that you get. Uh, Take the shapath of being very responsible and keeping yourself under control. And that is one of the things that I used to do was, even after acquiring all of this knowledge, when I looked at my father, who was alive till 2019, I felt good. In many areas, I might have exceeded the knowledge that he would have ever gathered in his life. But when I looked at him, it helped me keep that thing on, an abstract thing, that he can give a same slap on my head and say, hey, shut up, don't do this. It was an abstract thing. He never did it. But that feeling that there is somebody who can, on top of you, tell, sit down, is important for you to have. The day he passed away, I felt absolutely bad and lost. I said, who is that person who's going to now keep that tongue on your head? Of course, I found somebody else within the family, but it is a very scary thing when you are at the top and the whole world in your family revolves around you. These are things that you have to handle with a lot of responsibility. So now we're talking of avyakta, because maya is that effect on the Brahman that causes it to black out, and avyakta or unmanifest state is brought into being. This is what we commonly refer to as macrocosmic causal body. So, unlike the causal body associated with the jiva, the causal body is associated with the jiva. Maya is not a storehouse of personally accumulated karma. Maya is not a storehouse of personally accumulated karma that requires and thereby creates a body through which it can experience itself. Okay? So the original unmanifest state is called as avyakta. So avyakta also comprises of the three gunas. So try to go into the detail. I'm actually repeating it. I've not been able to move forward from the last class. I'm more or less repeating what I said in the last class because I felt it is going to help you. So each guna we said has two shakti. The sattva, raja and tamo guna each has got two shakti, two powers. The avarana shakti, the power of concealment, and vikshepa shakti, the power of projection. Concealment and projection. So by means of these two powers, each guna produces a different upadhi. And that upadhi accounts for one of the three essential aspects of manifestation. So an upadhi is a limiting adjunct or conditioning agent that lends its qualities to the object upon which it is having a conditioning influence. I'll repeat it 2 times so that you are able to take notes, or even this thing. We are going to get cut off in 3 minutes. So I'll just stop with this explanation. Upadhi is a limiting adjunct or a conditioning agent that lends its quality to the object upon which it is having a conditional influence. In this case, Maya can be called a Upadhi because it is having a conditional influence on the Brahman to black you out. That's a very simplest explanation. But you can apply this explanation to many other things that you live a life on. Yeah, go ahead, Usha.
No. I'm sorry. I was just
Yeah.
repeating it in my mind.
So, virtually, it in a very crude language, it is like if there is darkness in Maya and Brahman is pure, when it has the conditioning effect, it lends its qualities on the object on which it is having that impact. So, all of a sudden, Brahman becomes lost in darkness
Yeah.
because of the Maya. Make sense? सोनल जी आज आप बहुत शांत थी, तो आई होप इट वाज नॉट वेरी ओवरवेलमिंग और ऊपर से नहीं जा रहा था.
I'm listening.
Is it helping?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, like I need to draw a chart of all those gunas and all those things and what does what.
I will
Like,
help you with the
my
chart.
mind
I've
was
already
also-
started preparing it. I'll help you with the chart. So you don't have to work hard. I'll give
I
you the
have
chart.
written it down here and there in so many places.
And I'll give you the chart. I promised that for the
Yeah.
last 3 weeks, but I've been a little busy, but I will take care of that. I'll share the chart. So we'll stop with this so that we don't get abruptly disconnected, right? And please go through the video one more time. If you have questions, you can even interact during the week. It doesn't have to be through the Wednesday to Wednesday. But promise next time we'll take forward from this Upadhi to the logical conclusion on this topic before we go to something more in detail. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.